Why meeting the woman of your dreams makes you come unglued and how to prevent it.
Well, if you're coming unglued when you get around a girl, I mean, what typically happens for most guys is they get around a girl that they consider their dream woman or a woman that's out of their league, and they change. They act differently. They fall all over themselves trying to please the girl or get her attention. And, the late, great Doc Love had a saying. He said, "A beautiful woman is like kryptonite to the average man. She has the power to make him fall apart." And that's what happens with most average dudes that get around a girl that is their ideal. They can't handle it. They pedestalize her, they kiss her ass, they start changing their opinions
It's
to
really
match
sad to
hers.
see. Yeah.
They don't want to upset her. It's like I wrote about one of those examples in my book with a guy that was a sales manager at the Fox affiliate in Orlando, and this is a guy's a hardcore negotiator, very smart business guy, very successful and kind of a hard ass. And then I remember, he gets around. We were all in the skybox watching a baseball game down at Disney, and it was middle of the day. We're all having a good time, and she's like cold, and she's like, he starts going around. Oh, anybody have a sweater? So and so needs a sweater, and it's like his voice changed, his demeanor changed. He turned into like a manservant or a
Yeah.
butler, or he's like trying to wait on her hand and foot. I was just like, bro, dude. I mean, he literally went around to everybody in the
That's
whole
insane.
the whole skybox trying to find a sweater or a jacket for her. And in his mind, that it's like I think that dude is maybe raised by a single mom,
Yeah.
and so he's taught to be extra nice, and so she appreciated the gesture, but there's no way he's getting within 100 miles of that box. So what you have to do is you gotta read the book 10 to 15 times, because a big part of it is knowing what to do. And a lot of the problems that guys have is they don't understand what things are doing and what they're saying turn women on and what things turn them off. And especially if you look at what's on TV and in the movies, it teaches men to be a bunch of beta male pleasers, basically, and to wait on a girl hand and foot, be nice, be extra compliant. And so they act the way they see on TV, because most of the time they're certainly not getting a decent example at home. And so it was literally from the time they're a little boy till they're an adult, they're emotionally and mentally anchored to dysfunctional, unnatural behaviors. And so they interact with a woman, they basically act like an insecure chick around them, which is absolutely repulsive. And he could be one of the most handsome guys in the world, but if he starts acting like a beta male and trying to jump through his butt to please her and get her attention, she's going to lose interest and respect for him really quickly. And so the first thing is you got to become aware. You got to become aware of what behaviors turn women off, and you got to become aware of what behaviors turn them on. And so once you're aware of it, and by going through the book 10 or 15 times to the point where you get to know it so well, you could teach a class on it. Then you can recognize, especially when you get around a beautiful girl, you'll start to notice the impulses and the things that you're thinking that you want to do, that you feel you should do, because again, you've been emotionally anchored to those behaviors. But you have to catch yourself, and if you know the book backwards and forwards, you know what the correct response is. You know what the correct interaction is, which is typically just teasing her and treating her like every other girl. If she was fat and had a big beak and a nasty wart on her nose with a bunch of gnarly black hairs growing out of it, and she was the ugliest thing in the world, you'd be nice, you'd be respectful, but you're not thinking anything sexual about her, and you're just treating her like any other person. And if you just treat a woman like a normal human being and ask questions because you have sincere, authentic interest in her, and you open her up, and she's already minimally attracted to you, she'll start to like you more as she continues to talk and you engage in conversation. And so you have to become aware of what behaviors you're doing and saying, and how you tend to change when you get around a woman that you really like. And if you're really nervous around beautiful women, one of the things you got to do is you got to develop small talk, and you got to develop your social skills. And so it's like I talk about, and there was a video I did years ago called "How to Improve Your Social Skills," and it's one of the videos that's referenced in the book for guys that are super nervous. And you just get in the habit of wherever you go saying hello to everybody, old women, couples, families, when you're putting gas in your car, if some dude drives up in a really cool truck, ask him questions about his truck. Because we all love to talk about ourselves and our stuff. And it's the same thing. You get around a really pretty girl, what would you want to know about her? If you're fascinated by her, what would you want to know? And so if you've rehearsed that hundreds of times with hundreds of strangers, people, clerks you see in the grocery store, the girl that checks out your groceries, the person that bags your groceries, when you're waiting in line to pay for something, talking to somebody that's behind you or in front of you in line, just shooting the shit, it's the same process because you never know when you've done it enough and you've talked to several hundred people and created small talk with people that are total strangers and just chatting with them or just saying hello and talking to people in an elevator. Then when you turn around, there's an absolute smoke show there. You've rehearsed it so much. You're like, hey, how are you? And you ask her about something that maybe she's got on a conveyor belt. Oh, what are you going to make with that? And you just start talking about the food and stuff. And then come to find out, she likes some of the same dishes that you do. And she's got actually making something that you know how to make or that your mom used to make. And then you can start talking about that and find some commonality. So instead of some dude hitting on her, now you're just like a guy that's talking about what she's going to make for dinner or going to make for lunch or whatever. And it's very disarming. It puts her at ease versus, because a lot of guys say when they turn around to pretty girls there, they're like, oh, 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 oh. They freeze up. They don't know I don't know what to say. It's because you haven't rehearsed small talk enough. And so you got to do it over and over and over again until it gets to the point where it's not a big deal. And when you date enough different, really pretty girls, you start to realize it's like they have bad breath, their armpits stink. When they blow it up in the bathroom in the morning, it's like they stink like everybody else. And so it's just another smelly taco. Treat them all the same. They're really not that. They're not better than you, trust me. That little innocent angel, oh, little church girl, she's so wonderful. Like, they're all a bunch of fucking whores. That's the bottom line.
They'll puke on you too.
They'll puke on you. And here's the other reality that most guys don't know because they've never, as Zan Piran would say, they've never moved freely in the land of women. And when it comes to sex and bodily fluids, women are way nastier and way grosser and way more graphic when no dudes are around talking about those subjects. But most guys never get to see that side of women. And so to put them on a pedestal and to kiss their ass and go, oh, this little innocent little flower. She goes to church every week. She's an angel. Meanwhile, she's had, train run on her by 10 dudes in one night. It's like, treat them all the same. Because if you knew their deepest, darkest secrets, especially I went to a Catholic high school, it's like the really innocent looking ones usually are the biggest whores. So don't pedestalize women because it's going to get you nowhere.